Starting at number 10, we have the Pontiac Firebird Formula and Trans Am with the WS6 Performance Package. While the Camaro Z28 got most of the attention, the Firebird WS6 was actually the more capable machine. Performance metrics. It came with a 5.7-liter LS1 V8 engine, producing between 305 and 325 horsepower. 0 to 60 miles per hour took between 4.6 and 4.9 seconds. The quarter-mile time was 13.1 seconds. Top speed reached 156 miles per hour. Unique features. The WS6 package included fully functional Ram air hood scoops that actually added an estimated 5 to 10 horsepower. It also came with upgraded suspension tuning, larger wheels, and high-performance tires. The handling was razor-sharp, and the LS1 engine developed a reputation for being extremely durable and reliable. Why was it underrated? The controversial exterior styling divided opinions, and Pontiac's marketing reach could not match Chevrolet's. But drivers who spent time behind the wheel knew the truth. This was a legitimate supercar-level performer, available at a fraction of the price. At number 9, we have Dodge's secret weapon, the Stealth R/T Twin Turbo. Yes, it was essentially a rebadged Mitsubishi 3000 GTV R4, but this collaboration produced something genuinely special. Power came from a 3.0-liter twin turbocharged V6, producing 300 horsepower and 307 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 miles per hour took 5.0 seconds. The quarter-mile was completed in 13.6 seconds. Power was delivered through an advanced all-wheel drive system combined with four-wheel steering. This car was packed with technology that felt almost futuristic in the 1990s. It featured active aerodynamics with an adjustable rear spoiler, an electronically controlled suspension system, and a highly sophisticated all-wheel drive setup. Together, these systems made the Stealth an exceptionally capable performance car in all weather conditions. Why was it underrated? It lived in the shadow of the Japanese sports car boom and carried a high price tag. On top of that, Dodge's muscle car image made buyers skeptical of a high-tech twin turbo V6. Today, clean examples are highly sought after by enthusiasts who understand exactly what this car offers. Number 8 brings us to Ford's track-focused weapon, the Mustang Cobra R. Ford produced two versions during the 1990s, one in 1995 and another in 2000. 1995 Cobra R Performance. It was powered by a 5.8-liter V8, producing 300 horsepower. 0 to 60 miles per hour took approximately 5.3 seconds. Only 250 examples were produced. 2000 Cobra R Performance. This version featured a 5.4-liter double overhead cam V8, producing 385 horsepower. 0 to 60 miles per hour dropped to around 4.6 seconds. Quarter-mile times were approximately 13.0 seconds. Production was limited to 300 units. Unique features. These were not street cars pretending to be track cars. They were the real thing. The 2000 model deleted air conditioning, radio, and the rear seat entirely. The focus was pure performance, with independent rear suspension, Brembo brakes, and race-ready aerodynamic components. Why was it underrated? Extremely limited production meant very few people ever saw one, let alone drove one. These were street-legal race cars capable of embarrassing far more expensive European sports cars on a road course. At number 7, we have another GMF body, but this one is special. The Chevrolet Camaro 1 LE package was the handler's special, the thinking person's muscle car. Performance metrics. Power came from a 5.7-liter LT1 or LS1 V8, producing between 275 and 305 horsepower. 0 to 60 miles per hour took approximately 5.3 seconds. Handling performance was significantly improved compared to the standard Z28. Unique features. The 1LE was never about straight-line speed. It was designed to dominate corners. It included a day-carbon rear shock tower brace, larger front and rear sway bars, stiffer springs, Bilstein shocks, and specially tuned suspension geometry. There was no traction control and no anti-lock braking system, just pure mechanical grip. Here is the twist. It was actually a delete package, meaning it cost less than a fully optioned Z28. Buyers gave up fog lights, stereo upgrades, and certain comfort features, but gained a car capable of running with the best European performance cars of the era. Why was it underrated? Chevrolet barely advertised it, and it could only be ordered on V8 coupes with manual transmissions. Most buyers wanted comfort and convenience. The 1LE was built strictly for purists. Number 6 might surprise you. The Mercury Cougar XR7. Now, hear me out. While most Cougars were luxury cruisers, the supercharged XR7 from 1989 to 1995 was a legitimate sleeper. Performance metrics. It used a 3.8-liter supercharged V6, making 210 horsepower and 315 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 miles per hour came in at approximately 7.4 seconds. It was front-wheel drive, unique features. That supercharged S656 delivered big torque, which made highway passing effortless. The XR7 also got sport-tuned suspension, upgraded brakes, and a surprisingly well-balanced chassis. Later models switched to a 4.6-liter V8, rated at 205 horsepower. Why underrated? The luxury coupe market was shrinking, and Mercury's brand image did not scream performance. But as a comfortable grand tourer, this car could still catch people off guard at stoplights. The torque delivery was the hook. At number 5, we have another surprise entry, the Dodge Avenger ES with the V6. This affordable sport coupe offered a compelling package that most enthusiasts overlooked. Performance metrics. It came with a 2.5-liter V6, producing between 155 and 163 horsepower, depending on the year. 0 to 60 miles per hour took approximately 8.2 seconds. It was front-wheel drive. Now, I know what you are thinking. Those numbers do not sound impressive. But context matters. Unique features. The Avenger was built on Mitsubishi's proven platform, sharing components with the Eclipse. It offered sharp styling, a driver-focused cockpit, and surprisingly capable handling for the price point. The ES model added sport suspension, larger wheels, and a more aggressive body kit. Why underrated? It lived in the shadow of the Eclipse and could not match the straight-line punch of classic muscle cars. But as an affordable, reliable daily driver with real sporty character, it deserved more respect. Today, they are rare, mostly because so many were simply driven into the ground. Number 4 is the controversial Ford Probe GT. It was originally intended to replace the Mustang, and thankfully that did not happen, but the Probe itself was actually an excellent sport coupe. Performance metrics. It used a 2.5-liter V6 rated at 164 horsepower. 0 to 60 miles per hour took approximately 7.6 seconds. Quarter-mile times were around 15.7 seconds. It was front-wheel drive, unique features. The second-generation Probe GT had one of the most aerodynamic designs of its era, with a drag coefficient of 0.29. The interior was modern and driver-focused, with supportive seats and strong visibility. The Mazda-derived V6 was smooth and reliable. Handling was the real surprise. Built on Mazda's MX-6 platform, the Probe GT carved corners with confidence. Many reviewers compared its handling favorably to the contemporary Mustang. Why underrated? The name did it no favors, and Mustang purists never forgave the near-replacement story. The front-wheel drive layout also scared off traditional muscle car fans. But objectively, this was a well-engineered, affordable sport coupe that delivered real value. At number 3, we have something completely different, the Oldsmobile Aurora. It was marketed as a luxury sedan, but it had genuine sports car DNA, performance metrics. It ran a 4.0-liter Northstar V8, making 250 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 miles per hour took approximately 7.6 seconds. Quarter-mile times were around 15.8 seconds. Top speed was electronically limited to 130 miles per hour. Unique features. The Aurora used a shortened Northstar V8 with sophisticated suspension tuning and European-inspired styling. The road and track suspension package transformed it into a true sports sedan, with tighter handling and better body control. Here is what makes it special. Oldsmobile used this car in Indy Racing League competition, developing it into a legitimate race car. Aurora-powered cars won the Indianapolis 500 and multiple IRL championships from 1997 through 2001. Why underrated? It wore an Oldsmobile badge at the exact moment the brand was seen as outdated. Younger enthusiasts wanted imports or muscle cars, and luxury buyers chased German badges. But the Aurora delivered real refinement with genuine performance credibility. Our runner-up is the Wild Plymouth Prowler, a factory hot rod that almost nobody took seriously as a performance car. Performance metrics. It used a 3.5-liter V6, producing between 214 and 253 horsepower, depending on the year. 0 to 60 miles per hour took approximately 5.9 seconds. Quarter-mile times were around 14.9 seconds. It was rear-wheel drive. Unique features. It had an aluminum body and frame, independent suspension at all 4 corners, and an open wheel design inspired by 1930s hot rods. The styling was outrageous. Nothing else looked remotely like it. The engineering was actually sophisticated. Aluminum-intensive construction kept weight to around 2,800 pounds. The suspension geometry delivered strong balance and clean feedback. Why underrated? Most critics fixated on what it was not. It did not have a V8, and early versions were automatic only, with no manual ever offered. People complained the power numbers were modest, but they missed the point. The Prowler was about the experience, the style, and the joy of driving something truly unique. It handled well, accelerated respectably, and turned heads everywhere. Today, it is widely seen as a modern classic, but in its time, many enthusiasts dismissed it. And our #1 most underrated American sports car of the 1990s is the Vector M12, a car so obscure that many enthusiasts do not even know it existed. Performance metrics. It used a 5.7-liter Lamborghini-derived V12 producing 492 horsepower and 425 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 miles per hour took approximately 4.8 seconds. Quarter-mile times were around 12.8 seconds. Top speed was approximately 189 miles per hour. It was mid-engine and rear-wheel drive. Unique features. The M12 used a Lamborghini Diablo engine and a modified Lamborghini platform, combined with American engineering and styling. The body was carbon fiber and Kevlar composite. The interior leaned into aerospace-inspired instrumentation and controls. Only 14 to 17 examples were produced, depending on the source, which makes it rarer than nearly any exotic you can name. The story behind Vector is part of the mystique. Founder Gerald Weigert created the earlier Vector W8, one of the fastest cars in the world, in the early 1990s. After corporate drama and ownership changes, the M12 emerged as a more affordable, relatively speaking, Vector model. Why underrated? Almost nobody knew it existed. Vector's business problems, tiny production, and lack of a dealer network meant almost zero market presence. At around $184,000, it was expensive, but the buyer was getting legitimate supercar performance with American ambition behind it. The M12 represented the dream of an American supercar, sophisticated, powerful, and exclusive. It deserved to be mentioned alongside the Dodge Viper and Ford GT, but instead became a footnote in automotive history. Conclusion: 1630 to 1730. These 10 American sports cars prove the 1990s were a richer and more diverse performance era than most people remember. While the Viper and Corvette dominated headlines, these underrated machines offered everything from affordable thrills to exotic performance. Some, like the Firebird WS6 and Camaro 1LE, suffered from weak marketing. Others, like the Probe GT and Avenger ES, were punished by brand perception. And a few, like the Vector M12, were so exclusive they never had a real chance at mainstream recognition. What they all share is genuine performance capability and engineering that got overlooked in its own time. Today, many are becoming collectible, as enthusiasts realize what they missed the first time. The 1990s proved American performance could compete with anyone. You just had to look beyond the obvious choices. Which of these underrated 1990s American sports cars is your favorite? Did we miss any that deserve recognition? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the best cars are the ones nobody is talking about. See you in the next video.